Okay, welcome to One Radio. Today we have here in the studios the one representing NDC for OkaiKoi Central. Who do I have here today?
My name is Baba Sadiq.
Baba Sadiq. All right, so what's your plans for the youth? I want to know.
I mean, there's a whole lot more.
But first of all, I'm not person. Who is Baba Sadiq?
Well, Baba Sadiq is a media and entertainment entrepreneur.
Okay.
I've worked in industries that relates to what you're doing currently.
Okay.
My background is in communications. I've worked extensively in the media and communication space, working variously as a content producer, communication strategist, media entrepreneur, the founder of 3 media networks, 3 music TV, 3 music awards, the Wonderland Festival. Worked for multimedia, Joy FM, Hits FM, Metro TV, Viasat 1 at a point, and now I'm into politics.
Wow, that's what the Lord has brought you.
Yeah.
All right, so I think you start crazy content for me, right?
Well, I mean, content is my thing. I've always worked with content and created some exciting content. I wish I had the time to still create content, but as it is right now, I still do direct some bit of content from the background. Just that the busy schedules of politics sometimes make it difficult to spend a longer time with it. But I mean, I just love the creative space. I've thrived within the creative environment often, and I've always thought that the creative industry holds a lot of opportunities for employment, to drive employment for young people. It's one industry that has enormous potential for young people and can create, a lot of employment. Coming here, you're not the only one hosting. There's a producer. I'm sure there's a cameraman. There's a whole lot of individuals or people that are working with you, and one way or the other, they are involved in one employment or the other.
Exactly.
And so this is a very good space, and I'm really looking forward to how my party, when they come into power, we can create the opportunities for growth in this space and other industries for young people.
All right, so how has life been at the political world? Life has been for you at the political side? Well,
it's been very hectic. I mean, fortunately for me, I've been very used to hectic schedules. I'm used to strenuous activities because I work on varied projects within the industry I come from, and so there's a certain correlation. It's almost as if I'm working on the projects again. And you're spending a lot more time, a lot of dedication on it, but it's also opened up a lot of doors. It's given the opportunity to know a lot more people, to understand my constituency better. Not that I don't understand it, but I was born here, grew up here, but sometimes there are certain things that are not too apparent to you that the political process makes it very obvious for you. So all in all, I think it's been beneficial. The growth has been amazing.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So what's your plans for the youth,
Well, a whole lot more. When you look at this constituency, 80% of the constituents are younger people below the ages of 50 years. Yeah. 2 most important issues impacting young people is personal development and employment. The youth unemployment is still quite high within the constituency. When I become a member of Parliament, God willing, which I'm very confident about, of course, the role of the MP is to make laws, but whatever laws we make is supposed to have some desired benefit for the constituents. Laws, we also know, take some time to come into full effect, and so the constituents look to the MP for him to or for her to unlock these benefits for the constituents. One of the things I'm looking to do that will stem the tide when it comes to employment and also help develop young people within the constituency is the creation of what I call the Youth and a Job Center. The Youth and a Job Center, among other things, we do a lot of things. It will be the place where I would use to coordinate job placement for young people looking to assess job opportunities within the state or private sector. Beyond that as well, it becomes a point where we can take in some young people from within the constituency and take them through different models of training. My party, the NDC, has already promised as a very key policy the National Apprenticeship Program, where we're going to identify young people that are looking to earn some skill within a particular sector, but do not have what it takes to pay to acquire the skill. So the National Apprenticeship Program, for instance, will pick these young people up, take them through the training, and when they are done, we give them the basic tools that they need to be able to set off and start off on their own. And so I want to use the Youth and the Job Center to become the main coordinating hub for this activity. My target is that every quarter within the year, if I'm able to get at least 200 young people from within the constituency going through different models of training, it could be hairdressing, it could be makeup, it could be plumbing, it could be editing, it could be graphics, it could be a whole lot. If we're following that every year, it means that we're going to have 200 times 4 quarters in a year. It means that every year we're going to have 800 people. In 2 years, you have 1,600 people. In 3 years, add 800 to 1,600. What do you get? So for 4 years,
calculator needed.
Yes, so for 4 years, you're going to get what? Almost 3,000 people that have been equipped with the necessary training, given the necessary tools for them to start off on their own. This, I think, will be good. Thirdly, the youth and the job center will run certain models of training. One of the models, and particularly because I'm coming from the creative industry, is what I call the DICE Hub or the DICE program. Which DICE means DICE, which is Digital Innovation Creative Economy Hub. The idea again is that there are a number of young people from within the constituency that are interested in, working within the creative and digital space, the innovation space essentially, but do not have the basic tools to start off. Part of the programming is to be creating like a hub like this where young people could come to and start to develop the necessary skill that would grant them entry into some of these industries or start out on their own. Periodically, if we're able to get the necessary funding, we'll be able to scale up some of the businesses they build. I had that experience and I know it's beneficial. I started doing music from a hub space like that. I started it from Impact Hub, where they had a maker space. I had a space like this that was my studio and an office at the same time. And that's how we built it, gradually, scaled it up. Today it's a television station, it does awards, and it's creating opportunity for a lot of young people, and it's valuable for us. It's even actually transcending me as a founder, because today, even though I'm into politics, there are a lot more of other people that are working from there that are actually receiving, some value, And so the DICE Hub will become one of it. Thirdly, because it relates to jobs and what I call sustainable livelihoods, the youth and the job center becomes that point where I can drive support to traders. Already, my party has promised, particularly for women traders, the creation of the National Women's Development Bank, which is going to grant funding to women entrepreneurs at zero interest. I want to use the youth and the job center to be that point where we can continue to advocate and ensure that the National Women's Development Bank, the benefit of it would also extend far and wide, and it would do in the constituency. So these are about some of the initiatives, among other things, that I intend to do to ensure that the personal development of young people within the constituency and employment is guaranteed for them. All
right. You've spoken about the youth. What about the constituency itself?
So the constituency currently, a lot of people don't know this, has a blueprint. It has a development or infrastructural blueprint that currently exists. The plan is there. One of the things you have to do is to leverage the power of the Member of Parliament's office, and particularly when my government is empowered to be able to drive some of these things. We have 5 electoral areas within the constituency. Each and every 5 electoral area has got specific things that, when it's done, or the people need. If we come into Gbemomo, which is Fadama, one of the critical things that they've always been advocating for is the development and the completion of the Fadama market. What market does is that it creates commercial centers, points where people could trade, and also create opportunities for immediate employment for young people or people within that particular catchment area. Beyond that as well, when it comes to education, the NDC started one of the Millennium Schools, very major school at Fadama here. I'm speaking to Gbemomo, I'll go to other areas at Fadama here. We didn't fully complete it. It was almost nearing completion before we left. There are still basic things that those schools still need. Where in the ICT world, for instance, the schools within the constituency continue need to be equipped to be able to provide practical learning for people. So in terms of education, we'll push for the completion of all the Millennium Schools within the constituency. Mm-hmm. Beyond that as well, the markets that need refurbishment, Abeka market, the Fadama market really needs completion. We'll pursue and ensure that is done. When you go into places like Apenkwa, part of the plan that we have in terms of education, when we started building the Millennium Schools, for which the constituency got about 3 different schools, was to see how we're going to convert one of them possibly, or because of the spaces around, into a secondary school that would have like a community day secondary school within the constituency. Then again, when it comes to sports, there's a whole thinking that I have relative to how we can continue to use the agentry system to support young players in the constituency. There are too many coaches within the constituency. Coaches need periodic training. One of the things I want to prioritize is to ensure that there's a fund that's set aside that every year we take a number of coaches through different coaching courses. The GFA and the FIFA runs coaching courses. I want them to go through it so that coaches that have been here for a long time will continue to equip and develop themselves and get to that point where they can impact well within the constituency. Again, there are lesser known sports or sports that continue to require a lot of support. I played basketball when I was going here. I had a lot of fantastic basketball players I played with. Today, South Sudan, which is relatively a newer democratic country, is actually turning heads in the basketball space globally. I think that we need to be able to create a program here, have a multi-purpose court within the constituency. That will be a point of training tennis players, basketball players, volleyball players that can contribute to national development. I'm sure that these people will find the necessary value and the opportunities to be able to look back home and impact it. So generally, these are about some of the things that we intend to do. When you look at the trader community, particularly those along La Paz, when you speak to them often, the few things they tell you is that, look, they have their own resources already. The impacts of the economy continue to ravage their business. Beyond that as well, sometimes when they have issues at the ports and all these places, they just need a helping hand, somebody to help enable and facilitate some of these things for them. Through the creation of my office, we intend to have a desk that continues to prioritize and listens to them and see what we can do to make the work, the space easier for them. These are about some of the things that we'll do aside making laws generally for the country and for the citizenry.
All right. I guess you've briefed us a lot about your plans for the constituency. Right. A lot of people say politics are lies. Can we trust you?
Of course. I mean, some of the things that I'm talking about aren't things that I'm not just making promises from my head. I'm making promises on the basis of my experience, my deep insights and understanding of how some of these things work. So these aren't just promises. These are things that even on my own, in my private capacity, I've been able to do them. So I'm only telling you that these things that I've been able to do, that continues to unlock value for younger people, for people from the country and the industries. It's what I'm just looking to scale it up within the political setting.
Are you sure that you come and promise us you do this, you do that, and at the end of the year there's nothing? These
are things that is already running. Like I said, we built 3 Music from nothing, which means that if I tell you that I can do the Dice Hub, then it means that it's something that I can do.
All right, so we should trust you with that.
Of course. Most importantly, I keep saying to everybody that if in the constituency we've been able to trust and giving a certain individual 12 years, I'm not asking you to give me the 12 years. I'm saying to you, give me the first 4 years and see the things that we can do.
So we should try you the
first me the opportunity. Half. Of course, give me the opportunity within the first 4 years. See how we go about delivering some of these key things that I've been promising and talking about.
Okay.
And then after the first 4 years, you decide, do you need to give me a continuation or not? That's all we're asking for.
Okay.
So give Baba Sadiq, a younger person, fresh ideas.
Fresh blood, fresh energy.
Fresh blood, fresh energy, innovative spirits, a drive for excellence, to also come in to see what we can do. I'm sure if my opponent was not given the opportunity, perhaps will not know the things he can do or not be able to do. So I'm just saying to all of you that, OkaiKoi Central this time around, give me the opportunity and see what we can deliver. Give me the opportunity and see how we actualize some of the promises we make to you. Give us the opportunity and see how we go about elevating the lives of the people in OkaiKoi Central. Give us the opportunity to prioritize the lifestyle of young people and create opportunities for growth for them. Give us that opportunity. And within that first 4 years, if we're able to do that honorably, then we can come back to you again to say, this is what we promised to you. Have we delivered? If you say we've delivered, we ask you to renew the mandate for us. If you renew it, we proceed and we continue to drive progress for the constituency.
That's cool. And this year, looking at how the youth are saying we are not going to vote because they will say this and turn us bad or do bad to us, so we are not going to vote. Why should we vote? Convince us to vote for you.
Well, it's a duty of every citizen to get involved in civic activities. If you don't take part in civic activities, people will. And when they do, they'll make decisions for you.
Definitely.
It's important for young people to understand that we're building a country. And the country that we're building will require their involvement and participation. We need youthful energies. We need youthful verve to be able to build a country. Countries across the world have been built on the spirit of young people.
Exactly.
And so the best you can do as a young person is to take part in the elections and ensure that we've got the right individuals that can make decisions that create opportunities for good for you or for young individuals. If you don't, somebody will. Today, there are a lot of young people that are qualified to, are ready and interested in work, but there's no employment. And that's why as a party, we've prioritized certain things that we know will create opportunities for them in terms of employment. For instance, our flagship project we've made a lot of noise about is the 24-hour economy.
Yeah.
The 24-hour economy will create a 3-shift system that will make it easy to employ fresh people. So think about it this way. We currently have a 1-shift system. This 1-shift system is employing, for example, let's say 1 million young people. Think about it. If we create 3 alternative shift systems and you're having other 2 million people filling each of these other 2 shift systems, 1 million each, do you know what it does? That's like reducing youth unemployment drastically. So these are some of the things that we're saying that decisions drive the country. Yeah. You need superior ideas. You need superior decisions. You need a political will to be able to make sure that you put the country on the right path. And the way to do that is to ensure you've got the right people in. How do you ensure the right people in? You've got to use your thumb and ensure that they come in. For young people in the OkaiKoi Center that have been looking to go into any of the security services that have not been able to secure it, you have somebody that's saying that I'm going to create a youth and a job center that will prioritize and ensure that you know a place to go to secure some of these support to get into these services. Wouldn't you rather this? Would you rather a status quo where you don't even know who to go to, where to go to for even career advice? And so this is why you need to take part in the elections. This is why you need to make a decision. This is why you need to ensure that the country is on the right path. Take part in the elections. It's a civic duty. It's a civic responsibility. Take part in it. Help us decide. Help us bring the country on the right note. Help us make strong decisions that continue to create a conducive environment for you to grow.
All right. I want you to look through the camera and talk to your people.
Well, hello for all of you that's listening to One Radio. Glad to be here. Glad to support enterprises by young people to grow. This is a very good one. I'm confident that in the same ways that we built and scaled up media businesses such as this, I'm confident that in the next few years you're also going to scale up like that, continue to create value for the country, create employment opportunities for young people, and go on and do best. So keep sticking to One Radio, watch, support their programs, support the activities, see it grow. This is how to start it. This is how to do it.
All right. Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you. Yeah. And I'm educated with all what you have, the plans you have for this constituency. So OkaiKoi Central. Thank you for having me.
So what you need to do for me is that you need to become an ambassador.
Really?
You need to become a canvasser for Baba Sadiq. You need to become a canvasser for Jomama. Wherever you go, you are, every corner, every place, knock on the doors, speak to them, engage them, beg them if you have to, and tell them that this is the time for Baba Sadiq. The new hope for change is here. Vote for Baba Sadiq, vote for Jomama, for a lot of the benefits that would come to the country.
Indeed, the new hope. Yeah. It was nice having you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you.